You know, talent is not enough. Talent is not enough. You need to have a very good work ethic and still be disciplined and still be focused. If you're not going to be able to work hard enough and to be passionate about what you're doing, because passion at times drives you so that you don't see other things you are doing like they are a burden.
Passion is like a painkiller, because when you have passion, you lose sense of time and hunger and pain itself, because you are just so absorbed in what you're doing. And more so when you are talented in that area, you become unstoppable. Hi, my name is Veli Ndaba, the neuroengineer. You know, I'm all about transforming minds from a place of mental darkness to mental light. And mental light is the place that one needs to be, because that's where your dreams are really realized. Without mental light, there's nothing much that will happen in your life. And as you know that with this Neuro Leadership podcast for leaders, we are all about transforming the mindsets of people, because if you don't see yourself achieving something, who else can see you achieving that? You are the master of your destiny, and you are the captain of your soul. So I'm here today in this episode to talk about effective leadership, but also to talk about this effective leadership from a different perspective, because we cover quite a wide range of topics and bring in different people from different spheres of life. And today, I'm just bringing someone that I'm very excited, to be hosting in studio, because I grew up, admiring him and watching him doing what he used to do, which is something that is going to take us through. And for me, I'm just so honored and privileged to be hosting our guest today. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, or help me welcome, none other than Mike Nanana Ntombela, who used to trouble those defenders, when he was scoring goals. But obviously we're going to be touching on effective leadership as well, because that's what makes teams thrive. Mr. Ntombela, good morning to you.
Good morning, Ndaba, and thank you very much for welcoming me at your studios.
Thank you very much. You know what, I'm just itching already, just to get a lot, because there's so much, that one needs to cover, with you. But first of all, maybe just introduce yourself to our viewers and to our listeners. Who is Mike Ntombela?
Mike Ntombela was born in Snawane, Soweto, and brought up there, and some of the things which he did was also playing football and become a community of Snawane and make sure that I contribute very well. But I have other journeys where I've gone to other schools outside of Soweto, and until I went back to Snawane and everything. I would say I'm very lucky and I'm very excited to talk to you after the intro you've made to me. Thank you very much in terms of trying to address the challenges with mankind is facing.
Yes. Thank you very much. And I think one thing that I mentioned was that, in life we all have stories, very interesting stories, and some of them may appear to be very sad, at first. But as I always said, that your story is someone else's GPS. Your story is someone else's map. And your story is someone else's survival guide. Because when people listen to your story, there are people who are exactly in the place where you used to be. And when they see you having made it, thus far, and to have attained the level of success that you've attained, people will start to feel that, wow, it's possible for me too. And like I say as well, to say, it shifts your thinking and how you look at things. And you start looking at the Mandelas, not as exceptions, but as an example of what is possible for you too. Because we all have the Mandelas, which are the best versions of ourselves. So if you can be able to tap into that greatness in you, you become unstoppable. Now, you played football at, like the highest level in our country. You played for Wits University, and you were one of the two players that played there. And maybe I want to hear from you. What made you, maybe for a start, what made you realize that you were, a good player? And secondly, how did you get to play for Wits University, at the time?
I realized as well as I was growing that I'm a little bit different from other players, and people acknowledge most of the things I do. And it was so exciting for me, but also humbling, because I never thought that I was that type of a player. I would always look at other people who were playing and who were far much better than me, even in the same team I was playing for. I still believe that the players at Sinawane Gunners, whom I played with, they should have made it to professional more than me. But the story is that I have made it, and people were always believing in me. And one of the incidences where I realized that I was a top player is when Sinawane Gunners was supposed to play against Mulapo Royal Terrace for a promotion to the upper structure of Sanfa by that time. And I was now at University of Zululand, Ngoye, and the people in Sinawane contributed money to bring me back to come and play that particular game. And all the eastern part of Sinawane, they contributed 5 bob, 2 bob, that money, which means 50 cents and 20 cents. So, and they bought me a ticket, and the ticket was worth 84 rand. And 84 rand was a lot of money. And I came by plane for the first time, so the community brought me to be in a plane.
What year was that?
That was 1979.
Oh, okay.
That was 1979. So I then came back, and the game was scheduled for Orlando Stadium. I think we were playing curtain raiser for Orlando Pirates and against Moroka Swallows. And as we played there, I scored the first goal, and I scored the last goal. The score ended up being 5-2, and Gunners was promoted. I then realized, guys, it means I'm that good, So that's one story which I can tell. But also, as you said, how did I join Wits University? I had gone to Orlando, to Kaiser Chiefs and Highlands Park for trials before I joined Wits. So I went to Kaiser Chiefs, and by then it was coached by the late Elkiam Bro Kumalo, Dr. Kumalo's father. And then I didn't succeed there, not because the coach didn't like me, but I think Chiefs had better players than me. So they felt good, no, maybe this one I was leaving behind. And hence I've got no grudge. And then I went to Highlands Park. It was coached by Joe Filkington. And I went there. There were a lot of players, the Des Sparkos, they were top players, and I didn't succeed there. And so I thought to myself, let me go and watch Wits training so that I can help my club to go to professional, because I can't succeed in that. I had given up. So I walked because I was studying at the City Library in Johannesburg. So after noon, I walked towards Wits. It's a 2-3 kilometer walk.
Yes, I know.
And then quite a little bit too long, but I was eager to go and meet, to go and watch. But I had to go in there because there was a player playing for Wits by then. His name was Mike Bangan.
Yeah.
So I thought, because they are training in the evening at 6:30, by the time they finish is around about 8 o'clock. So I will need a lift to go back to Soweto. And I knew that he stayed in Soweto, in Rockville. Yeah. So I sat next to the gate and waiting for him to come. And at about 6:15, Mike Bangan came in. I saw him parking his car. The car was written, he was working for UTC, United Tobacco Company. I don't know whether it was written gold dollar or those brands.
Gold dollar.
Yes.
Yes.
So I went to him. Before I could greet him, he was excited to see me. Hey, Mambosh. That's my nickname, from Chipa Mloyi, the father of Tebu Mloyi. Yeah. And I said, no man, I'm coming here to watch you training, man. Can you please, after training, go back home with me? Yeah. Then he said, no problem. Wait for me. Then he went inside and they started to train. They are about to start to train. I saw him speaking to other guys there, and there was one guy coming. But I thought he was going out. He was short and was wearing, he had beard, and then he came to me, white guy. And he said, hey, Mike Bangan says you are a good player, and can you come and train with us for today? I said, no, I can't train. I'm not a good player. Mike Bangan is lying, and he couldn't take that. And then he immediately said, no, you can come and we've got boots and training kit there. I said, oh, I never thought that there is. But I said, hey, I thought by saying I don't have boots, they will give me a chance and not look at me. Then we went inside. We opened a small warehouse there, and then they gave me boots, and I went there and trained with the team. And on that day, there were two teams training. One was the reserve team, and one was the first team. Mm-hmm. So they made me to train with the reserve team, and we did some free kicks. And so the coach of the reserve team, after training, he went to the coach of the first team to say, no man, I want to see this guy playing. We're in a small-sided game. He was very good. I want him to come on Tuesday. Can you speak to Mike? And they are talking about Mike Bangan.
Yeah.
So that, no, I said, no, okay, I will come. And that's when I went with Mike, and we were talking in there. He was very excited to be with me, and he was forcing me, hey man, you must play here, man, you must come and play with me, what. And when we reached home, and then we parted, and then I went the following Tuesday and I played, and I succeeded. They said they are signing me, but for the reserve league. I was not happy about that, because I thought I'm better than the reserve league, you know. It's the reserve side. I said, let me carry on with this for Mike as well. And then they said, on Tuesday, they signed me. They said, no, we're signing you. You are playing for us, and what. I said, then I joined that club, and I didn't go to my club and tell them that I've joined Veli. So I was double dipping.
Yeah, double dipping.
So I went, on Saturday, the Vets were playing. On Sunday, Ganas was playing. So professional football in the past was only on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it was amateur day to play, so that the professional can come and watch amateur. Okay. And for amateur to go and watch professional. There was no clash at all. It developed later. So after that, after 3 months playing that double dipping, the first team said they were going to sign me, and they signed me. That's it. That was a great story.
Wow. So Mike Bangan played a huge role, you know, in you playing for Vets. I mean, but obviously you took a chance, you know, to go there, but you didn't know that it was going to turn out to be something that was life-changing, you know, for you. And that's that's a great story. And how long did you play for, you know, play at Vets? Yeah.
You know, Mike Bangan is so big in my heart and everything for what he did for me.
Wow, man.
So it's so, he's like my mtagama. I'm so indebted in him for the contribution he made into my life. And I stayed there at Vets for 5 years, from 1981 to the end of 85.
Because I remember that duo, that combination. You guys were like, you were deadly there. And you knew the goals were coming and you were just banging them in. I mean, like, really, I was just so, I mean, like, for me, it's such an honor, I mean, to talk about those moments, I mean, those glory days and that. But how was the culture like, you know, at Vets? When you look at it, what was happening? What made it, you know, work, you know, as a machine? Because I'm sure a team is just a team, but if we look at the team the culture of the team and that, how would you describe it?
You know, I didn't expect that at that time, during the height of politics, you know, and the white people on the one side and the black people on the other side, with a lot of things happening around that. I was surprised the way I was well accepted by the majority of the players.
Wow.
They love me so much that I felt part of that. And that developed non-racialism in me, because when we grew up knowing that the whites are on the other side and the black people are on this side, and there's always that fight. But non-racialism to me, because of what they showed me, because of the way they handled me, is the way I thought, this is the life I would like to live with all the other races. So it was unbelievable. You know, there's one story. We went with the reserve team to Velcom. After the game, we were going to a restaurant to buy food for ourselves. Normally we'll eat there inside in the restaurant. And so the team manager would, who was the coach in any case, there was no team manager, he did everything. He had ordered the food before, and then we had to go. As we finished the game, took our shower and we went to there. As we came there, they already put the space for us that's where we're going to eat. And they didn't know that there's a black guy coming in that.
Yes.
So it's a white restaurant. And as I came, and then the owner went to the guys, because the guys, they come from Joburg, I must go and sit there, and then they're getting surprised.
It was awkward.
Very awkward for them. Then they said to me, hey guys, they told our many, no guys, if like you eat with this guy, we can't offer you the food. Can we ask your guy to go to the bus to eat there? Because he can't go. The player said, no, we're not going out.
Yeah.
He's eating here. And if he's not eating here, we leave the food. And I could see as I ate, they were just looking at me somewhat otherwise, but not everyone, because in life, not everyone is the same.
Yeah, true.
So in life, we never judge people by, don't be general. Yeah. Be specific. If a guy is wrong you engage him with that wrongness, but don't assume that everyone, because of their color, are like that. So, and that as well made me to be like that, and I really appreciated it.
I normally say in my interventions, you know, with corporates and different private settings as well, that talent and potential is not, or talent and potential are not portable. So when I say potential is not portable, I mean that one person can be so good in one organization, be a top employee, be a top leader, but as soon as they move to another organization, they become labeled as poor performers or poor leaders. And the reason is not just because of talent. And I think we spoke about talent to say talent is not enough. Yeah. You know, you need to work. I mean, for someone to shine, for someone to be a star, for someone to be great at what they do, it takes talent and a combination of environment.
Yes.
So I'm coming back to that issue to say for you, you felt, because when I talk about the brain, I talk about the core human needs. Yeah. And one of them is a sense of belonging. Yeah. When you feel that you have been accepted, when you feel that you have been made to experience that belongingness, what happens to you is that you perform at your best, because you don't have to worry about safety or watching your back. You know that there are people around you who are watching your back. You don't have to get worried or to be worried over that. So that talks about performance. So that's how you felt that you were treated at Vets, and how you felt that you were part of the team. That led to your top performance. I mean, that's the reason why you scored so many goals. That's the reason why you were so relaxed. I mean, you and Mike Bangan were the only two, players, in the whole team. But the way you played, it was like, I think it showed, that there was some cohesion, between you or amongst the players. And I think it also applies in organizations. When you feel that you are not part of the team, you're not going to give your best. Because part of your attention is to your safety. To say, I hope these guys don't do something wrong to me, and I hope they don't harm me. But if that is out of the window, you are able to focus your 100% energy on performing. And now, so that's what I'm hearing. And also the issue that as a person, there's someone who's going to open that door for you. To say in life, you need to also open doors for other people. Because here you were, just taking a chance, you went there to watch, but you ended up playing. That's because someone believed in you, and someone introduced you, to others. And hence, as they say, the rest is history. And now, moving to Sundowns, how was it? How was it like there? Were you poached? Were you sold? How was your move, from Vets to Sundowns?
My move was a little bit funny, because I had played 5 years there.
At Vets.
At Vets, and it was predominantly white guys, and although we're joined by Wagga Wagga Dikwebe.
Yes, I remember.
And then the Three Musketeers in there, and we were enjoying it. And Mike Bangan left before in 1984. End of 1984, he left for Durban Pushbacks, and he was sold for 27,000. Was a lot of money.
Yeah, jeez.
A lot of money. So, and then in 85, when end of 85, when I wanted to leave, I knew that I have to be sold, and that's the name of the business. The business thrive on that. So I was met by Screamer Shabalala.
Wow, the great.
In town with Colored Pasmo. They were together. Screamer was the coach of Giant Blackpool, the club owned by Colored Pasmo. So he said, hey, Mike, hey man, there's a guy from Soweto who bought Mamelodi Sundowns. His name is Zola. Zola Mahobe. He's got a lot of money.
I know Screamer.
That's man, we must go there, man. But I didn't believe he can be able to buy me, because I knew more or less how much the price would be. It won't be less than 27,000. So they are going to ask for more. You understand how the Jews work.
Yes.
They love the money, and which is a very good thing. So I then said, I was at home I used to sell vegetables over the weekends in Shawela with a friend of mine, Sam Muhofe. We started a small business. So while I was there, one day, on Sunday, Jabu Mtetwa came to me and said, hey, Zola wants to see you. I said, oh,
and who's Jabu Mtetwa?
Jabu Mtetwa is a guy who was born and brought up in Soweto, in Snawane. I knew him from playing in Snawane, and now he's a top businessman. So he was the one who came, because I'm sure as they were discussing with Zola, he said, I know the guy, but he stays in my township, I can go and pick him up. And then he came to us there, and then he said, hey, can we go? I said, no man, I'm busy selling here. But a friend of mine said, no man, I can go, I'll stand for you. Then I left with him, we went to Diepkloof. In Diepkloof, zone 4. And then there was a guy, Brasix, who had a house there. I didn't know him. But as I came there, I saw Zola sitting there with the afro. The afro plus also he was neat, man. You know, yeah, he was very neat, man. He looked like, you know, this guy has got money, man. just by
he looked like money.
He looked like money. I said, oh, maybe this guy has got money, you know. Yeah. He said, no, man, I want to support a club in Pretoria, and so I want you to go and play travel to Pretoria. I said, no, I like Sundowns, but will you be able to afford me?
That's the question that you asked.
That's the question, because I don't want to go and spoil my staying there by talking about going to Sundowns. The next thing, that deal falls off, you know. Yeah. So he said, no, I can. He said, how much? How much will they want? So I said, about 30,000. I was just guessing. Yeah. And then he said, I've got even 35.
Wow, man.
I said, what? This guy? No, I'm going now. No, I'm going to. I can see that the chances of me leaving Wits. Yeah. So I just have to go and speak to Professor Slosh, the one who Mike Bangan showed me, introduced. He's the one who signed me. I have to respect him and make sure that I go to him and talk to him about this thing. And I did that. I went to him, say, Prof, I'm asking that I must leave, man. You know, I've played for 5 years, man, the club. I just want to taste to be on the other side. Yes. Just to play, like us, like go and play in the township.
Yeah.
So then he said, no, he was refusing. And then he said the coach wants Joe Franklin had joined Wits by then.
Yes.
On that year. And I said, oh, but I know, but I'm Prof, I must leave. No, Prof.
You insisted on that?
I insisted. Yeah. Prof, no. Then I left, Prof, and I told Sundowns, go and approach Wits University. Yes. Because I've already told him my intentions. Yeah. Although he does not agree, but he will agree ultimately. He's a good guy. Yeah. So and then Sundowns approached him, and I was sold for 33,000.
Wow.
Yes, but I got a 3,000 out of that.
Oh, you got 3,000?
Yeah.
Wow, there was some money as well.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. No, man, this is so exciting, and I just love that. Sure. And I think for me, what I respect you for is that you have, how you handled yourself. There were no shenanigans,
yes.
During those days.
Yes.
That Mike had done this and Mike had done that. Yes. And what I just want to find out from you now, coming back to issues of teams, issues of leadership. What did you say made or makes a good club? When you talk about effective leadership, when you talk about how to lead, what makes the team, to work together? Because you can see the difference between how you guys used to play then, and you look at how our players are playing right now. They are more paid than what you guys used to be, to get paid. And what do you think is the difference between that?
In life, as we grow, we worry about ourselves. But family is the first organization we are born in. Yeah. And when it means that at some stage, the family must be more important than you. Yeah. So there are things which may impress you or you would want to do them, but you can't do because the family will not like it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not taught a lot, and hence your organization is so key because it's all in the mind that the players who join a club, although they love themselves, but they must love the club more, so that they act on the interest of the club.
Yes.
Because you are not representing yourself. Oh yes, you are and your family, but what you have joined is an organization, and that organization is called the club.
Yes.
And then you need to make sure that the club becomes more important than you, and be selfish but selfless.
Yes.
You see that it looks like there is a conflict there,
Yes.
but the issue is you have to love yourself, but the club must be more. And we see a lot of players, and we see, because we have gone through that, and we can see now and try and educate them that it is important that you look at the club first, so that, but you must have started looking at your family first, because that's the first place where you see that the importance of being in an organization.
Yes.
So I would think it has got a huge role to help us to make sure that the people understand what is it to be in the club.
Yes.
Even the supporters, even everyone must understand that the club is more important than yourself.
Yes.
Although you still love yourself, selfishly, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely,
Sure.
absolutely. And what I like about that is that in any organization, obviously you come first as you get there, because you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But once you are in, like the premises of what, or of someone that pays you. I mean,
Yes.
that organization or a club, because an organization, a club is the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's about the common goal.
Yeah.
What is it that needs to be achieved?
Yeah.
Because once you understand that,
Yeah.
when you get into that pitch, that soccer field, you need to understand that it's no longer about me,
Yeah.
but about the team.
Yeah.
Do you really understand the common goal? What are we trying to achieve here? Yeah. And in terms of discipline, when it comes to that, maybe I'll ask you two questions. In terms of discipline and in terms of talent, based on your experience, when you look at players that become, very, very big, that become big names in our leagues, is it because of the talent, or is it because of the work ethic and the work rate? What has been your experience in that? I mean, what did you say about the top players? Is it just because they are talented, or is it because they work hard? I mean, what did you experience, yourself, when you look at, all the Mike Banganas and...
Talent is not enough.
Yeah.
Talent is not enough. You need to have a very good work ethic and still be disciplined and still be focused. We were lucky when we grew up. We were able to see players like Jomo Sono. And Jomo Sono, he was so talented. But behind the scenes, what Jomo used to do is training like he's a boxer.
Sure.
And look after himself and go to Zirbekom and run there and go to the stadium and run the stairs on his own before the club trains or after the club has trained.
Yeah.
So that tells you that for you to be successful, even if you are talented, if you are not going to work hard enough, you are not going to be as successful as you may have been had you been able to work hard. Because at times you may think, man, I'm still a good player, man. But we look at you. If you had worked like Labana, we think Abalazi Pola, they play because they train hard, you could have been more successful.
Yes.
So it's an education to young people, and even particularly those most talented.
Yes.
Because those are the ones who are worrisome. Because those others, Tina Lavavanya is talented,
Yes,
and then we train hard and be disciplined and make sure that we are focused. Those who are extra talented, they don't train that much. But if you follow in Europe, because we have gone global. In
Yes.
anything we do, we have to learn from everywhere.
Yes.
So you can see how hard, and you can see how, when you read the biographies of players who are very successful, it's very clear that one of the reasons why they are that successful, or the main reason, is that they have worked so hard.
Yes. Above talent or beyond talent.
Beyond talent. It's very key for us, and that's what we must do in any sports, not only in football, in any sports or in any spheres of life. even at work, in a work situation.
Yes.
If you work hard enough, even if you are qualified as you have got a BA or you've got a BSc or you're a doctor, if you're not going to be able to work hard enough and to be passionate about what you're doing, because passion at times drives you, so that you don't see other things you are doing like they are a burden.
And I love those words. I mean, that's something that I normally say to say, passion is like a painkiller.
Yeah.
Because when you have passion, you lose sense of time and hunger and pain itself, because you are just so absorbed in what you're doing. And more so when you are talented in that area, you become unstoppable. And I think that's something that people need to take note of. I mean, we've got our young ones now, or even in our society. We've got people who've got this tendency of thinking that, oh, me, I've gone to school, I have a degree in this, I've done this for the longest time, but they don't put enough work. And this work ethic that is crazy, as they call it. I mean, it's a crazy work ethic. It's something that sets you apart, and that makes you go beyond what the ordinary person without talent cannot go. But they beat you when it comes to work ethic and discipline. With your talent, I mean, you end up not competing with them, because you'll be weak. Yes, with talent. I mean, we see people with talent, but they are worrisome, as you have rightly put it. And I think that's something that is very crucial that we need to indicate, because it gets into their heads that they are talented, that they are good, but they are not willing to put in that work. And then that's very crucial. Now, to someone who is growing up, I think we spoke about this, we just touched on it. To someone who's growing up now, let's say he's 16 and whatever, who really want to make it in life, what advice would you give to that person? I mean, like, a kid growing up, wherever they are growing up, township, rural areas, like urban areas and that, but anyone who is growing up who really wants to make it in life. And what advice would you give that person?
The advice is also one of the biggest contributors is looking at the people who have done that successfully and read about them. Because don't look at them in the field of play or where and think, like, as I made an example about Jomoso. So if we can know that, what does it do, as you rightfully put it, after what he has worked, if you are going to train, if you have got 8 hours to do that, beyond that 8 hours, what does that person do? And you'll find with most of them, Leon Messi, Ronaldo, it's scary of the things which as you read their books, what are they doing? What are they doing outside what they have done in their respective club? So but the key one is do first and learn and educate. So as a young kid, look at what he has done and learn from there and go and do it. Because when you do all those things now, you've listened of what he has done and learned, and then you go and do. It's very important, and I only hope, because our kids are more talented than us. Our kids are more smarter than us. The only thing what they have to do is to listen to us who have walked that path before, and get the education from there, and then they will be far much better than us. My mom used to say, please teach the kids what I taught you.
Wow, man.
And if you don't do that, I know it's your fault, because you don't want them to be better than you.
Wow. She's a very smart mother. And so one thing that we can say is that listen to those who have done it before you. I mean, there are words that are saying, if I've seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. And people want to do it themselves. But unfortunately, you can't reinvent the wheel. Learn from others, because if you look at the Muhammad Ali's of this world, I mean, like the Mike Tysons, I mean, they did it. I mean, so why can't you learn from them? I mean, so coaching is very important.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why we're sitting and doing this podcast as well, because you want to make it easier for other people so that they can be able to learn, because they may not meet us in person, but they will be able to listen to this conversation and say to themselves, so it means I need to have a coach.
Yeah.
I need to have a mentor.
Yes.
Because the importance of having a coach and a mentor is that these people are able to see in me, which I cannot see by myself. Exactly what you indicated or you alluded to earlier on, to say you went there, and when they said come in because you are a good player, they say you are a good player, you started doubting yourself and say, no, I'm not a good player. And you started making excuses to say, I don't have my playing kit on. They said, no, we sorted. You know, they went to the warehouse, they got you some soccer boots and you know, like the kit, and you played, and they saw that. So sometimes we can doubt ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's very important, therefore, to have a coach and a mentor, and someone who's going to look at you and say, man, the way you look and the way you do things, you can do much better. And then take you further, and they can push you to do that. But motivation alone is not enough if you don't have knowledge.
Gotcha.
Because someone once said that if you motivate a smart person, they become smarter.
Yeah.
But if you motivate a fool, they become more foolish.
Yeah.
So I think that is true, because people don't just firstly need motivation, but they firstly need also knowledge.
Absolutely.
They need to learn. They need to be taught. They need to listen to those people. Like in my coaching sessions, I mean, that's one thing that I indicated to you, to say, I look at people and look at what do you do when you are with other people? And what do you do when you're with yourself? And I asked that question, tell me, what do you do when you're by yourself? And the answers that I get out of that indicate to me whether you're going to make it or not. And that's what I look at. And that's what I talk about. So I'm talking about these issues from, you know, the brain perspective. And that's the reason why I ended also written these books. I mean, 5 books. This book here, The Neuroscience of Effective Leadership, it explains to you how the brain works and how you can untap that greatness in you, because we have that. And I know that, you know, we don't have all the time in the world.
Sure.
And right now, I just want to maybe ask you maybe just one question. As a leader, what do you think makes someone an effective leader? Not just as a leader. I think we spoke about it in teams, that culture is very important, where we talk about culture of accepting one another, a culture of making others feel that they belong, and there's no difference in us. And now when it comes to effective leadership, you've worked with top coaches as well, and let's call them leaders, because that's exactly what they are still. What do you think made them effective in how they ran, you know, the team, and on how they managed the team? What set them apart? What are the key traits that you look at and you said, wow, these are the 3 or 4 things that made them effective in their leadership?
One of the biggest things I've seen in leaders is a leader must listen.
Okay.
A leader must listen. Give time to the next person to speak. That's the first one. The second one, you must be exemplar to all the things you want that person to be.
Wow.
And because you shall have done it. If you are not exemplary, you can say, even if you have failed, you can be a good teacher to say, don't be like me.
Yes.
Because I did that. I did that. It's just like you see yourself with, no, he has failed, but he acknowledges it. Yes. And he says to you, please don't fail like me.
Yes.
I see potential in you, and you know, if like you can just learn to listen and follow the steps which you followed, even at home, simple things, discipline, time, keep up those small little things, so that if it's 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock.
Yes.
It's not excuses that, I'm sorry, there was a taxi, my mom used to say, ilanga nalishona. Akufani ukuthi nawe ucima ikhandlela uyalibona ukuthi nokucima ikhamera uthi phu licime ikhanda. Ilanga liyalibona liya phansi uba late mara uyazi ukuthi awuna transport mara awukahambi usahleli endaweni when you should have left long time ago because awuna transport uyazi mos. Don't say ngabo ma 8 sekumnyama uthi I don't have that, but you knew before that you don't have that transport. So those are the things which are so key. We only hoping we make things easier for our kids and our kids just to listen to the people who have done this before and make them to shine. Because in South Africa, I can tell you, we've got so much talent, better than any country in the world.
Wow.
But it's when we develop our talent that we don't fully develop it. They don't come to a session like your session because the mind is so key in everything. So I only hope the clubs can, after visiting this place, that's my parting shot. You changed my mind. You helped me so much. You don't know why I even stayed. I was meant to stay for an hour. This encouraged me about life, particularly of the previously disadvantaged people, in terms of changing their life for the better. As I said to you, I only hope your kids can learn this and take this to generations and generations. But I really thank you so much for you are doing things.
Thank you.
And we learn, and then we have to go and educate others as you're educating me. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. I mean, it's I'm humbled by that. I really appreciate that, and I think the reason why we I started off this podcast was also to be able to reach far and wide. I mean, for people that may not be able to to see us and to have in-person conversations with us. But summing up the issue of effective leadership, we're talking about listening. Don't just listen to answer, but listen to understand, and give others a chance as well. Just to air their views, because out of that you'll be able to really make informed decisions and give a proper answer to what is happening. And I think for me that's something, because we have a shortage of effective leaders. There are many leaders by positions, but unfortunately effectiveness is missing. And that's what we seek to address by running also these podcasts. I mean, like especially this one. So this is very important. And as we close, our popular question that I'd like to ask you is: at the end of the day, when you are no longer alive, when people think about Mike Ntombela, what do you want them to remember about you? How would you like to be remembered as Mike Ntombela?
That's quite deep, eh? If I were to sum up in 2 words. Firstly, a person who cared. Secondly, a doer. A doer. It's not good enough to talk only.
Yes.
You must do, because when you do, people can learn from you, from what you are doing. Yes. Because people, they see you and they do things.
Yes.
But in caring, at times I'm very strict. At times I'm very, very, very strict. Because at times I understand, but at times I don't understand, because I know that a person can achieve more.
Yes.
And if like you guide them, yes. But you must be strong at times.
Yes.
And then when you say you care, it does not mean good now you allow people to do wrong things.
Yes, as they please.
As they please, because I've walked this journey before. I know the mistakes I have made, and I don't want another person to do those mistakes.
Wow, fantastic! And I'm hearing someone. I'm just hearing someone asking a question silently, and is saying, "You played professional football for these years, and you played at your highest level, what keeps you busy now?
Is to make kids to taste what I tasted.
Okay.
Because it's another world.
Yes.
To be in sports teaches you about family, teaches you a lot of things. So I want to make kids, and I have been lucky that I have seen almost 6, 7, 8 professional players and playing, and still managing one of them. Wow. From when he was 14. And I said, I want you to teach you, I want to be your father.
Yes. And
teach you life, so that when you grow, you can teach your kids.
Yes.
So Tulan Tlachwa has been the captain. So I managed him. I managed Tulan Srero, he's in overseas now, but now I've stopped managing because he's based on the other side.
Yes.
But I just want kids to taste that education and sports go together.
Oh, yes.
Education and sports go together. Just find time. Just know how to prioritize.
Yes.
You know that you must not be made like, let me make an example, making the kids to go to school on Saturday and Sunday when the kids are supposed to be in sports.
Yes.
Do your work enough in class, ma'am. You've got 5 days. The coach on the weekend has got only 1 day.
Yes.
Because you take all the 8 hours, the most hours they spend, the kids, is at school.
Yeah.
And as coaches, we're asking for 1 hour, 2 hours.
Yes.
You take that.
Yeah. Because give them all the work.
Because you didn't do your work from Form 1. Up to there, now you're overloading the kid, the brain.
Yes.
The brain is being overloaded. It doesn't relax to be better.
Yes.
We don't know what makes it. Maybe you'll tell us one day, is this okay?
Yeah.
That the kids on Saturday they are at school.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm sure there will be another podcast, that will be based on that. But thank you so very much, Mike. I really and truly appreciate you. And I have no doubt that our viewers and our listeners have taken so much out of this. This is just the beginning of the many things I'm sure that you'll be able to do. And like you rightfully said, that an example is much better than an advice. Because with an example, someone can be able to see that it can be done. But with an advice, I'm not sure. Because anyone can advise. That's the reason why we say talk is cheap. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been such a great honor and pleasure to host this podcast with Mike Ntombela. They talk about gentle giants. He's one of them. And thank you very much. And let's meet the next time. Truly appreciate. Thank you.